Hey guys, I wanted to make this quick video because I've been getting a lot of questions about interior design and how to lay out a space. So I wanted to give you a few tips and tricks. The first thing is the layout of your space is really the bread and butter. It's going to be the bones of your design. So if you don't have a good layout, it really kind of doesn't matter what you do, and the rest of the space is just not going to feel right. So my first tip is you want the focal point of your space to be across from the room that you walk in. For example, so this is my front door here, and when you first walk in, the view that you get is this space. This is my couch. And I actually used to have the couch on this wall, which is shorter, and I really hated it because it just didn't look right when you first walked in the door, for the couch to be like kind of tucked away against this wall. So that's the first thing. Same thing goes for like a bedroom or for, I don't know, a basement. But anyway, so that's the first thing. The second tip I have for you is the amount of furniture that you have. So people tend to keep way too many pieces because they just can't let go of stuff. I'm guilty of that myself. When I moved from Ohio to New York, I had to, I think, go through and purge like 4 times. So I would recommend only having about 3 to 5 pieces that are larger depending on your space. So for example, in mine, which is teensy, I have my sofa, I have my hutch, and I have my dining table. Those are the 3 pieces I would consider large pieces. And then from there, you want to have 3 to 5 smaller pieces. So for example, that would be like my TV, my armchair, my area rug, and my coffee table. So then once you kind of get your main structure, you can go in and add lighting. You can add, you know, a plant, or, you know, I have this like kind of artistic shelving unit. So I think that that's really important, because if you have too many things in your space, it really just doesn't give any of your pieces like a space to shine. So my third tip is, if you can, move things away from the walls. Everybody always wants to like scrunch everything up against the wall, and it really it almost makes it feel like a museum instead of like a cozy kind of functional space. So I can't really do that here since I live in New York City and I have a teensy apartment, but I don't know if you can see here, ignore the wires, but I kind of pulled the dining table away from the wall. For the rest of my space, it is kind of against the wall because it would look really awkward to have a sofa in the middle of a teensy tiny room. But in my old house, I actually would use the sofa to create a hallway for my entryway, because I didn't really have a foyer. And it worked really well, and it kind of created like a little nook where people could hang out and look at the fireplace. So that was really cool. And then my last tip is, before you even kind of plan the space out, I would really just ask yourself, what is the function of this space? Sometimes people come to me and they think that like, I have to have a love seat. And I'm like, okay, but why? Because they've put themselves in this little box of like, I have all of these pieces of furniture and I need to find more pieces of furniture to fit. And that's really not helpful. If you kind of step back and like look at the big picture of things, of like, what do I want this space to be for? It will really help for you to know which items to keep and which items to get rid of, and then kind of how to place them as well. For example, so since I wanted to define my living space as separate from my dining space, I use this little area rug, which normally I like my area rugs to be huge and like go behind the couch. And when you have a 2,000 square foot home, you can do that. But since I have a tiny little New York apartment, I wanted to kind of like show that like this space stands on its own and then this space stands on its own as well. So hopefully that's helpful. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, and please like and share if you found this information useful.